Khalistani terrorists go on the rampage. 2 Hindu temples attacked by a Khalistani mob.
It's been 2 days since Hindus were attacked at the Hindu Sabha in Brampton. There's a disturbing media narrative that's emerging that this is an Indian problem. Let me make this clear to my fellow Canadians. Khalistanis are a Canadian problem. I'll repeat that again. Khalistanis are a Canadian problem. Our politicians have let this problem fester in our country the last 30 to 40 years, and nothing was done.
हिंदू जो हैं वो अपने आप को सेकंड क्लास सिटीजन फील कर रहा है.
Been consistently discriminated, beaten. At this point of time, the anguish has got to a point that the young blood in our community has risen together. We don't hate people. We're asking for a right.
There's a saying, it takes years, sometimes decades, for countries to build strong diplomatic relations, but only moments to destroy them. Justin Trudeau's government has managed to spectacularly downgrade Canada's image, not only in front of India, but also in front of the world, turning what was once a decent relationship into a full-blown diplomatic mess. It's almost impressive how Trudeau has managed to make Canada look worse in Indian eyes than even Pakistan, a country with which India has decades of unresolved tensions. It's gotten to the point where India sees Trudeau's Canada as a new Pakistan, a breeding ground for anti-India elements, operating with complete impunity. Well done, Mr. Trudeau. Can you believe what's happening up in Canada? It's utterly shameful that, in a country where politicians claim all religions are welcome and granted freedom, there's seemingly no place for Hindus and their temples. Temples in Canada are being attacked with alarming frequency, with videos showing police seemingly favoring the mob over the Hindu community. Pro-Khalistan elements have crossed every line of decency by storming sacred spaces, wielding separatist flags, and threatening peaceful Hindu communities. What's even more shocking is the audacity of these extremists, marching with sticks and flags, openly vandalizing places of worship, and desecrating Hindu deities in broad daylight. Specifically, temples in Brampton, Ontario, and Surrey, British Columbia, have faced harassment from mobs carrying Khalistani flags and posters. And what do the Canadian police do when they finally show up? Instead of addressing the real threat, they go after the victims. They start detaining Hindu Canadians, including a minor. Yes, that's right, a teenager, and the force they used. People are saying it looked disturbingly similar to the treatment George Floyd received. And in Brampton, police were literally caught on video, punching Hindu devotees who were just standing there, recording and demanding justice. Yet, the violent mob walks away scot-free. The same question keeps coming up: why is Canadian law enforcement ignoring the violent crowd and targeting Hindu Canadians instead? Where's the accountability? While the Canadian government insists these are peaceful protests and a matter of free speech, visuals tell a different story of escalating tension and violence. Some Canadian leaders have made statements condemning the attacks, but the response has been minimal, reflecting a broader issue within the Canadian administration under Justin Trudeau. This isn't the first attack on a Hindu temple in Canada. Multiple incidents have been carried out by Khalistani extremists. From shots fired near a temple priest's residence in 2023, to vandalism of Hindu sites, the pattern is undeniable. In February 2023, the Ram Mandir in Mississauga faced similar vandalism. And in April, Windsor's Swaminarayan temple was defaced, with anti-India messages. Despite the Hindu community's calls for protection, Canada's response has been lukewarm at best. And the core issue remains: allowing these groups free rein effectively creates a safe space for those who support violence and separatism against India. Trudeau's inaction suggests political considerations and vote bank dynamics, leaving Hindu Canadians feeling sidelined. Many believe Trudeau's government is more focused on appeasing certain political factions domestically, rather than addressing community safety concerns, or maintaining a balanced foreign policy with India. Just look at how he casually accused India of assassinating Sikh separatist Hardeep Singh Nijjar in 2023, without a shred of evidence, and expelled Indian diplomats. Meanwhile, he's failed to address extremist threats, secure Indian diplomats, and his swift citizenship policies for illegal immigrants seem to welcome anti-India elements to thrive in Canada. It's almost as if he's rolling out the red carpet for trouble. In the name of free speech, Canada's Khalistani extremists openly celebrate anti-India violence, while extradition requests for criminals go ignored. India now sees Canada as a new Pakistan for anti-India activity. Then there was the Bollywood diplomat trip, Trudeau's 2018 visit to India. Less diplomacy, more Bollywood antics, complete with cultural performances and cringe-worthy costumes that became meme fodder back home.
Mr. Speaker, on his sightseeing trip last week, the Prime Minister saw a lot of India, and it's clear after a week India had seen enough of our Prime Minister.
The visit also featured some questionable decisions, like inviting separatist Jaspal Atwal, which led Indian officials to wonder what was really going on. Canada alleges India collaborated with criminal Lawrence Bishnoi in Nijjar's killing. But why would a country with sophisticated intelligence and counter-terrorism capabilities resort to working with a criminal known for targeting Indian interests and under constant surveillance in their own prison system? There's no limit to Canada's absurdity. Canada previously declined India's requests to extradite Bishnoi operatives, and now claims India needed his gang. Not only has India pointed out Canada's failure to manage extremist threats against Indian diplomats, but it's also critiqued the quick path to citizenship granted to illegal immigrants, creating further tension. Now, Trudeau finds himself in a precarious position, navigating this solo mission with only sound bites to guide him, all while the world watches his diplomatic maneuvers. Amid dwindling popularity, there are increasing calls within his party for Trudeau to step down. Critics allege that he is leveraging tensions with India to distract from Canada's economic and social challenges, which could jeopardize the Liberals' standing in the upcoming election. Additionally, Jagmeet Singh, the leader of Canada's New Democratic Party, supports Trudeau's stance against India, though Singh has distanced himself in preparation for the 2025 election. Trudeau's government appears to be grappling with a complex landscape where national security, foreign relations, and domestic political considerations are all slipping through its fingers. This isn't the glossy, postcard-perfect Canada the world imagines. Instead, it's a place where Hindu Canadians endure harassment and assaults, often ignored by authorities who should be protecting them. Violent mobs hide behind the guise of freedom of speech, while the vulnerable communities they target are left to fend for themselves. If this clear bias persists and authorities continue to stand idly by, one must ask, what kind of future is Canada really offering these communities?